Thank you so much. We are going to talk a little Conference USA. FIU is heading into this season as one of the favorites to make it to the title game. They went 9-4 last season, and a winning record this year would make it 3 in a row for the Panthers, which would be a first in this program's young history. And leading the charge for FIU is quarterback James Morgan. As Amina mentioned, our very special guest today. James, thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
All right, I know you guys are excited to get back on the field, but I gotta say, it looks like you are having a pretty fun offseason too, because I came across this video on Twitter, and I'm just hoping that you can break down what was going on this summer in the weight room. We are gonna pull it up right here. I mean, talk us through this. We got a Ninja Turtle on a bike.
Yep. Yes, this is our costume theme lift. So we have this at the end of every summer, and honestly, the atmosphere in here is awesome when we have it. Everyone's very excited to be, done with the summer, done with grinding, ready to start everything out. But yeah, it's every position group will do a theme. So I think someone had like Ninja Turtles, Coach Smith did. It was a great time, to be honest, a really good time.
I got to ask you, what were the quarterbacks? What was your theme?
All right, so me and one other kid were greasers, and the other guys were I think they were like Grim Reaper themes. So there's probably some pictures out there of that too.
I was going to say I'm going to have to do some more digging because I didn't get to see those yet. That is absolutely incredible. What a fun way to celebrate the end of the offseason. But I know that you guys have been working really hard to high expectations this year. What's the thing that you have been individually working on this past summer?
I think for me, it's definitely a little bit different this year. Last year I came into the program like in summer, kind of had to learn the offense as I went in that regard, and kind of developed it as I got more experience. I think this year, being with it for a whole year with spring and summer and all that stuff, just kind of the little details are probably the biggest thing that I'm trying to work on, and just kind of seeing things open up earlier, being setting a high expectation for receivers on routes and stuff like that, exactly where I want them. And all those kind of little things that maybe in the year one when I was learning the plays, I didn't quite get a full grasp on.
I love what you just said about setting high expectations for your receivers. I mean, Austin Maloney, Maurice Alexander, Bryce Singleton, some of the big names that are coming back. You got a stable out there. What did those guys bring to the table that make your life easier?
I mean, it's phenomenal for a quarterback. If you just kind of put it in the vicinity of some of these guys, they're going to make a play for you. Like last year, I don't know how many times I threw like a little 8-yard route to Maurice Alexander, and he took it to the house. So it shows up as a 6-yard touchdown on my stat sheet. But no, I think the biggest thing that those guys bring, though, really is just the effort and the intensity. They're always getting me after practice in the off season. Hey, let's come throw. Let's work on these routes. And as a quarterback, you love to see that because it makes everybody better.
Yes, it does. Now, on the other side of the ball, you get to see a lot of Sage Lewis, the Conference USA preseason Defensive Player of the Year. Now, you go up against him in practice plenty, so explain to us what makes his life so hard, or what makes life so hard for the offenses when they have to face him.
Right. Well, the thing that I love the most about Sage is that he just flies around and he is always there. You can tell if he's hurting, he's going to still go. If he's, tired, he's going to still go. He's going to go 100%. So I'd say probably the biggest thing that about him that's tough to practice against is he is everywhere on the field. You do a run play, he's fitting the gap. You do a pass play, oh, he's covered, I got to check it down. So obviously I'm extremely excited to play with him. I think he's a great leader on this team, shows it with his grit and his intensity every day.
I'm sure you're excited for the season to start, so it's not you out there.
Yeah, I'd like to see him go against some other teams, that's for sure. Yep.
Absolutely, and you're going to get that chance coming up. It is right around the corner. And, we were talking about preseason accolades. Your team, FIU and Marshall, were picked as two of the favorites to win the East. What do you think? Like I said, I know these expectations are high for you guys last year. You're not content to do what you did last year. You want to go and get that title. What is going to be the difference between getting the title and just missing out for your team this year?
It's a great question. I think kind of what I was speaking about before, it really boils down to like very little details. I think there's a lot of opportunities last year with different games where, if we would have been a little bit better, we could have done some, better things. And I think that this year, it's a complete buy-in to every time we're out there, we have an expectation of perfection on the field, and that we're really addressing everything that we can to be the best team that we can be.
And look, James, I got to ask you. So I had a chance to cover you guys at the Shula Bowl last year. I got to meet Butch Davis, and we sat down there. You know, you do the meetings, right, with the coach beforehand. We were in there in your facilities, sitting down there. I mean, he had a to-do list of like 100 things, even down to like ordering invitations. And I could have listened to him talk all day. So what I want to know from you is like, what is your favorite thing about him, or a good story? Because I mean, he's just like a wealth of information.
Definitely. You know, I think it's awesome, and it's an absolute blessing to be able to play for him. Just like you mentioned, he has, you know, countless stories about places that he's been and like situations he's seen. So one of the biggest things that I think he brings to the table, I mean, obviously he brings quite a bit, but on a week-to-week basis, he's able to kind of identify the situation that we're in and kind of give us a mentality about where we should be. And I think he does an awesome job of that. He's a phenomenal players coach. You can always come to him with things. Just an awesome mentor for life lessons as well. You know, it's not just football with him. He's all about how are you doing, checking up on you, how's your family doing. So just a phenomenal guy to play for. I'm very fortunate.
Absolutely. And I got to say, maybe next year they can get him in costume, because I noticed in that video he was off to the side videoing. But I mean, I want to see Coach Davis as a greaser or something like that. So hopefully
he come up with something good. That's for sure.
Absolutely. Look, we are so excited to see FIU take the field. Thank you so much for the time, James.
Yeah, thank you so much. Appreciate being on.